Once again, Venture Lounge, Batch 5, B2B and B2C startups.
We have a new batch of startups. 7 startup we're gonna have on our stage today, and 7 investors in the panel will share their feedback. So actually, this is what I started to explaining this, and this is not a contest. This is friendly showcase where startup present their ideas and doing pitch as they used to do, what means being a startup, and investors share their feedback, asking more questions, and potentially suggesting what could be the next step for this startup to move on, or maybe a bright idea how to attract more business or more investments if they need it at this stage. So 7 startups and 7 investors who present in the investors panel. Let me start with the short introduction. As I asked you before, when I call your name, just identify you somehow on the camera, so our startups and our listeners and viewers can identify you. So we are pleased to have George Robson, the partner of Sequoia Capital, UK. Olga Shihantsova, principal, Speed Invest, Germany. Anthony Rose, founder and CEO, Seed Legals, angel investor, UK. Stanislav Ivanov, founder and CEO, Terra Ventures, Estonia. Gerald Polak, investment manager, 3VC, Austria. Aurel Pastor, partner, Portfolion. Sorry if this, we fixed that with the last name, but I wasn't a little bit not prepared for the second part. So, and Filip Rehorik, startup lead for Central and Eastern Europe, Microsoft from Czech Republic. Thank you very much for being with us for this venture launch and for our 5th batch. And I'm happy to invite our first startup to be up on the stage. And the startup name is Fantasy Invest USA, the company that helped to teach teenagers stock trading via games. So guys, the stage is totally yours, and you are up next, please.
Hey everybody, my name is Michael and I'm the CEO and the founder of Fantasy Invest. So, the millions of teenagers who is under 18 in the US is absolutely interested in the stock market. So it's, the stock market is a new religion for them, but unfortunately they cannot invest for real. And the classical educational books and classical, stock market simulators are too boring for the TikTok generation. So that's why we created Fantasy Invest. So it's a fun game about the stock market, and we use gamification to help teenagers explore the stock market. And let's look how it works. You just download our app and play our daily tournaments by picking your 5 favorite stocks. By competing tournaments with your friends and colleagues and other people, you gain experience points, and then you can upgrade your account. By upgrading your account, you're getting new trading abilities. For example, you can shorting the stocks, or you can make stop loss options or margin trade. And of course, you're watching the educational materials like stories or memes. That's how you understand what you should do in the next time. And you're learning by making practice. So that's easy. And of course, we're speaking with the Zijian people on their language. So we use memes and tidbits to understand and to educate our users how the market is going, what's going on in the market, and how they can use their new skills. And of course, we're building community around all this stuff, so they can share their new features or new abilities or new knowledge with others. So, and to date, we launched just a year ago on the last Emerge, and to date we have more than 1 million games played by 150K users, and 70K of them are active, monthly active users. So, and of course, our key metrics is, I made a mistake. So right now it's 70K monthly active users, but the main thing, an average almost more than an hour active player spends in our app. We acquire users by using TikTok influencers. That's why it's extremely cheap. So we're getting installs and active users less than 20 cents per each, and we monetize them via in-app purchase, because users can upgrade their account, buy new stock bundles, getting new stock abilities, and etc. So, and of course, our main goal is to educate 100 million teenagers worldwide in the next 5 years. So, would you like to be the part of our journey? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. And so here we have questions and feedback part for our investors panel. Who'd like to be first? Jarod, go ahead.
So first of all, really nice UX. I've actually tried out the app myself. I think I've hit the 72 minutes just yesterday, and not only in a week. But I have also used Bucks in the past, and Bucks also started actually with like the gamification kind of approach. So I was wondering how you want to differentiate in the long term, and also how you really want to put emphasis on actually the educative part, because I think like the stories, they're there, but like the points and the level ups are actually happening through the trades and not through engaging with educative content, right?
Okay, thanks for the question. It's a great question. Basically, we focused, by creating the community. So our main part is a social part, because you're not playing alone. You're inviting your friends and your teammates or your just family to play with you. So in the future, we will have some kind of like a custom tournament where you can play only with your the social network. So basically, that's how it's working. About our level up and educational content. Right now, it's not there is not so much content what we are planning to do, and that's why we will increase the numbers of levels, and we will increase educational content inside. So basically, we'll just step by step, by little steps, you will understand the market, how it's going in the market, just in a very quick way. Our main feature is a quick feedback, because we have like short games, we play hourly games and daily games, and you understand better and better and better how the training tools is working.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you, Philip. You have your virtual hand raised, so go ahead.
Thank you, Michael, for a very nice presentation. I have two questions basically. One, why just teenagers? I think that we have also a lot of older people who maybe want to be interested in it. And the second question, have you tried or have you even think about B2B model as well, for example, with schools or maybe even universities?
Thank you, Philip. It's a great question. We focused on the teenagers because the people who is, the over 18, which, for example, like me, is a millennial. We have a lot of instruments like Robinhood. We can buy, for example, fractional shares. So it's really easy for me and for my generation to buy stocks and to explore the stock market. But if you're under 18, you have no legal option just to try your skill. And classical simulators is really boring for the gym people, because they see the world in a different eyes. It's a totally different experience how to get the content, how to explore the world. That's why we focused on the people who is still under 18, but who want to invest in the future, and it's millions of people right now. So basically, we're trying to attack our niche, not to create a product for everybody, just trying to attack our niche and trying to create the best possible product for the teenagers who is from 14 to 18 years old. And talking about a B2B model, of course, we want to try to be the part of the scholarship program right now, but we need a little bit more trust on the US market, and we need some kind of the advisors who will help us with this mission.
Thank you.
Olga? Yep, you're up next.
Thanks a lot for the presentation, and congrats with really good early metrics. It's super cool. I like to ask this question, which is a bit far away from the current kind of status, right? But I'm curious to hear what's your kind of ultimate vision with this, because like teenagers tend to grow up and then basically leave the platform. Do you plan to stay with this kind of gaming and education tool, or you want to move ultimately to something more than that?
Well, great question. Thanks a lot. If talking about the mission, first of all, I believe that stocks is for a long run. So if you're a retail investor, for example, like I am, you shouldn't trade on a daily basis, because 97% of daily investors, of retail investors who are trying to trade, for real is losing the money. So and for example, U.S. government is talking about the same way. So basically, they want to cut some options for retail investors on a Robinhood, on Webull, on TradeStation platform, to daily trading, to margin trading, all this stuff. And that's why we believe, so if you want to invest, you should invest only for the long run, ETFs or basically the blue chip stocks. But the stock market is fun. The stock market is addictive. The stock market is something, it's a new religion. A lot of news feed are going from everywhere about the stock market. And if you want to get some fun, get some adrenaline, the users will play fantasy invest this way. Because you could win, you could compete with your friends, compete against some other people for the prizes and etc. in fantasy invest. But the real investing should be in the other way. So we don't want to be the competitors with Robinhood or Webull or the huge billion-dollar companies, but we want to attack our specific niche.
And to wrap it up, I wanted to ask Anthony, can you advise what would be the next step for guys to move forward? Maybe in a format of advice, in a format of like, what would you suggest to do them next?
So can I just hop in quickly with one observation, which is whenever in a deck, when a pitch, somebody's got mixed messages, I always want to drill in to find out which is A or B is the dominant one. And here, I think the mixed message is it's education and it's fun. And whenever you do that, you risk confusing your target audience as to why they want it. And I would have expected, when you said education, it's all going to be a bit more boring. If it's game, I just want a game. So you might want to think about just skewing it much more one way than the other to make it completely clear. And you might say, as part of having fun, you might also learn. So on the next steps, I would ask at this point, very quickly, how many people are you in your team?
First of all, thanks a lot for the feedback. You're absolutely right. And it's hard way every time to making the features focused on educational, on entertainment side. And it's really hard problem, but we're trying to solve it. Talking about a team, right now we have 20 people in our team. So half of them are engineers and half of them are product and marketing team. We based from LA to we already raised around, so we are not looking to raise, but I'm really open to talk with someone or with investors who have a strong network and have strong expertise on our side.
Okay, so my other bit of feedback is, I like a slide presentation that ends with the ask, because otherwise we go, looks great. Dude, why are you here? So the last slide should go, looking to raise this amount, or rather the last slide is traction, so great traction. And then the closer is looking to raise this amount, contact Michael, and here's my email. And if you're a UK company, you would typically say offering, SEIS or EIS. So I think to answer the question that was asked of me, I would need to know more about what you were looking for before I could, of course, suggest next steps. And then one quick throwaway line is, I think for the investors here, we might be thinking you need to make a fantasy angel investor where you pick early stage startups and decide which of those you're going to invest in with your 10K check or 50K check. So yeah, thank you.
Great idea. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks for a great presentation, and good luck as we talk. Hope to see you next emerge in a new role. So keep it up, keep the bar high, and so we'll move forward. And I'm delighted to invite Froot.kz. It's fastest growing consumer super app with native financial services in Central Asia. 60M addressable market, and we are happy to have you on our stage. Please welcome.
Um, Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rula Raim. I'm serial entrepreneur from Kazakhstan, nominated by Forbes 30 Under 30 list. And today I'm pitching my third startup that named Fruit, where me and my team developing the most significant consumer super app in Central Asia. And we are going to the scale to the global markets. Here is our super story. We have started today, 2017 as Dutch auction. After that, 1 year later, we made a pivot towards the marketplace. And 1 year after, in 2019, we have launched our proximity stores chain and grocery delivery service and have reached valuation by $50 million. And in 2020, we evolved into the super app. So here is our main numbers. In 2020, we have reached GMV at $4.9 million, and we have grown by 48% in first quarter this year. Also, we have grown our user base from 250,000 users, and we have grown by 23% in first quarter. And also we have reached $160 LTV per user, and we have grown these numbers by 18% in first quarter. Our super app includes several products and services. First of all is our marketplace, where we are selling more than 2 million goods with best prices and super fast delivery across the whole country. Next one, we're providing our customers with grocery delivery and proximity stores with the best fresh groceries and 30 minutes delivery. Next service, we call them e-kitchen. That means food delivery service, but not obvious, not actually like Delivery Hero. It's more like Uber-like service, and we help unemployed households start their home restaurant and earn money. The next service is finance and payments, where we provide our merchants and customers with seamless payments, installments, and consumer loans. By the way, powered by our own scoring algorithm. Next service, it's e-health. It's wide range of online predictive healthcare services like blood test, period tracker, casual exercise, and etc. And last one is travel and accommodation, where we're selling the cheapest airline railway tickets with affordable installments in collaboration with Aviasales. Here is our super team. For the record, we are not an all-stars team, but we're developing and delivering globally competitive consumer technologies, and we're making shopping experience predictable and hassle-free for both consumers and merchants online and offline. Here is our benchmark and competitors. As you might know, super apps are blowing on the global markets, like WeChat in China, Grab in Malaysia, Gojek in Indonesia, and of course our heroes Kaspi.kz from Kazakhstan, who have reached $15 billion market cap. Here is our super tech product, which helps us to be the most competitive team on the market. We are running our own ERB platform, cashier soft and fulfillment management tool, and also several machine learning based services like inventory levels management tool, sales prediction and advertising interactions, scoring algorithm, and open APIs for commercial banks and insurance companies. Our super score is this. We are doing our business on the double digits growing market of 70 million population in Central Asia. We have secured $10 million deal at $100 million valuation. And now we are in the middle of setting up M&A deal with biggest mobile operator of the country. Our super goal today is we're not looking for money or raising round right now, but where we want to get into the pipeline of top 10 international VCs, because we are going to secure a $200 million deal in next 18 months to execute our own M&A pipeline, which including bank acquisition in Uzbekistan. I'm done. Thank you very much for your attention. And yeah, believe in us like your mom believed in you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for a great presentation. Very startup-like format. I bet you're in cafe, pitching from your mobile phone and doing it all great. So thanks a lot. And dear investors, your feedback and questions are welcome. George, you like to be first? Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for that presentation. I mean, I love the scale of your ambition, right? I think there are challenges that come from building multiple multi-sided marketplaces in parallel in a market, and making sure that you don't lose sight of what your core competency is as a business, and sort of where and how you win. I think is very important. In particular, as I'm sure some of these services for you are about loss leading and acquisition, and some of them are about kind of monetizing and really capturing gross margin. So my question is for you today, like, where are you seeing that behavior? Where do people come on to the brand and onto the product? And where are you really monetizing those users out of that range of services?
Yeah, thank you for question. Now, our basically super app conception helps us to dramatically drop down the customer acquisition cost and dramatically increase LTV per user, because we can compete on the disruptive services like our e-kitchen. It's really disruptive product because other guys make delivery foods from restaurants, and we do it peer-to-peer from individuals to individuals. And yeah, we acquire our customers just 20 or 30 cents. And after that, we monetize them. Yeah, we have a strong retention rate. 8 from 10 users came back and purchase again and again. And as you can see, we organize the full range of the offers to customer according to consuming cycle, from really fast and impulsive decision like I want to eat and I make an order, through I'm planning my vacation and buying it using installments and some, yeah.
Oh, okay, let's move on. So yeah, I have a number of raised hands, so let's try to make that one after one because time is not that much left. So Aurel, would you be next?
Yeah, sure. I was wondering about your expansion strategy. So are you planning to expand in Kazakhstan in many different other businesses where you're not there yet, or are you planning on a sector which has proven good and going to other markets?
Yeah, currently we are grabbing a land in Kazakhstan, and we are market leader in proximity store chain and grocery delivery, and we are compete in e-commerce with the Froot.kz, but our expansion strategy is going to Uzbekistan and Azerbaijan because it's the super fast growing markets with the huge population. And it looks like Southeast Asia 8 or 10 years ago is double digits growing. And now there is no competitors, there is no tech savvy guys on the market, but it's a lot of monies, and internet usages are increasing dramatically, and smartphone penetrations. Yeah, and I see the Central Asia market. It's next super fast growing market where we can create the next unicorn.
That's very ambitious goal. And so I still have 2 more raised hands, but we have only one question left for the time's sake. So Philip, I'm sorry, can I give it to Gerald? And I owe you the question next time to be first for the next session. Gerald, you are the next one.
Thank you. So I've lived in China myself, so I kind of understand the convenience of having one super app. But one suggestion I wanted to make is that on the super goal side, I think getting into like the pipeline of 10 global leading VCs is rather a lagging indicator than a leading indicator. You should focus on doing the right things and doing the things right. So focus on the execution, on the growth, and then you will get into the pipeline. And I think that will follow from actually focusing on the goals that really matter. So I think you shouldn't like have like the pipeline of VCs as your ultimate goal. And from a question part, I was wondering, I'm not too familiar with the city and the infrastructures in Kazakhstan and, for example, Uzbekistan, but do you have certain requirements in terms of execution, what a city should bring along to be actually interesting for you?
Come again, please. It's poor connection.
So in terms of infrastructure, for example, do you have certain requirements for cities to be a target city for you?
Yeah, it's just high-speed internet, like 3G or LTE, and smartphones penetration more than 60% of economy active population, and payment cards penetration like 70-80%, and that's it. And we're ready to go for the market. Also, it's I don't know, about 30 parameters that we are in criteria, macroeconomic and macroeconomic, that we are considering, but we have no time, unfortunately. But I can explain how we choose the countries and what we are looking at before we decide to go outside.
Yeah, it sounds like a great point to continue after the venture launch and have good one-on-one and continue networking. So thank you very much, Brula. Thanks for your presentation. Investors,
thanks for
sharing your feedback. And I'm happy to invite to be next on the stage, Hint.AI, the startup that brings low-code tool for on-screen enterprise software training. So guys, you are up on the stage next. Please welcome.
Hi. On average, corporations spend $2,500 for training one employee to use enterprise IT platforms. But employees still lose 1.5 hours every day just trying to figure out how to use their IT systems and digital tools they need to do their job because of inefficient training and user support. This leads to frustrated employees, poor employee engagement, and higher support costs. And Citibank recently lost $500 million because of a complicated IT platform. I'm Artem, founder of Hint.AI, and we help to solve all these problems. We've created a tool that allows new and current employees to instantly master their software. Hint.AI creates a separate layer above absolutely any enterprise platform with on-screen step-by-step guides that help keep users engaged and use their digital tools at maximum efficiency. And the great thing is that creating these guides requires absolutely no coding and technical skills. As a result, companies get the single instrument integrated into their digital assets and platforms for training and supporting their employees and customers while they're performing work tasks tasks without the need to switch their attention to user guides, screencasts, or ask their colleagues. Hinted also collects data and analytics about how users interact with IT platforms and our guides to help system owners make them more engaging and more helpful. We allow companies to cut training costs from $2,500 to $100, reduce support tickets from $1,500 to $100 monthly, and boost training content authoring by up to 80%, since Hinted replaces PDFs, user guides, screencasts, offline and online training. And we know this because we already were able to onboard some of the top banks, telecom, FMCG, and industrial companies in CIS. We're hitting the market, which is $9 billion globally, growing at least 20% each year. Speaking about the competition, the biggest our competitor is VOCHI company with a $2 billion valuation now. But Hinted is more simple and faster to implement right now in comparison with absolutely all our competitors. We can even work without integrating our snippets or our code into customer systems. And secondly, right now our focus is the machine learning-based platform for the automated creation of training scenarios and discovering bottlenecks inside the enterprise software. This will help to boost those scenarios and on-screen guiding creation and cut the training costs even more. During the last 2 months, we were able to improve our revenue, and right now we're growing at least 20% month over month. And our current monthly recurring revenue just reached $10,000. We are the team to do this because our founders, me and Sergey, have a combined 15 years of experience in building high-load B2B platforms, as well as working with enterprises. Now we have 11 team members located in 6 different locations. We are also one of the finalists of Sber 500, the program run by 500 startups and Sber, the biggest bank in Russia. And we're also supported by 3 VC funds. We've recently closed the pre-seed round and now starting to look for the next late seed, which we plan to close by the end of this year. So let's get rid of all these user handbooks and training screencasts that, to be honest, people don't want to use, and bring better onboarding and training and user experience to employees and customers. Join us in conquering this new and extremely growing market. Right now, we are looking for potential investors, skilled advisors, and potential customers among startups and enterprises. We're Hinted, and we make any software friendlier. Thank you. I'm ready for the questions.
Thank you, Artem. Great presentation and awesome timing. So I just like 5 cents from my side about the culture that corporates try to use for employees bootcamp. For example, Google started that, and onboarding in Google takes 1 month. So when you start your career at Google, it's 1 month until you start actually doing something. Facebook, Amazon, and dozens of other like giant companies do that. So your niche is very nice. And Philip, I owe you this from the last session. So go ahead with your question to be first.
Thank you. Thank you for a very nice presentation. I saw that you used in your slides Dynamics, Microsoft Dynamics, and I'm wondering if on a platform level, if there is some integration between those, in general, not only maybe Dynamics, but maybe other systems, and if yes, if you think about some closer, let's say, partnerships regarding selling to end customers together with these platforms.
Yeah, great question. Basically, we need just very, very simple integration. Speaking about web-based platforms, we need only like one line of JavaScript snippet to be integrated into the platform, but also we can work without any integrations at all using web browser extensions or desktop applications. And answering the second part of your question, yeah, we are looking for also like, let's say, partners between software vendors like Microsoft to be the part of their ecosystem and pre-installed apps for like their end users. And we are now working with some Microsoft resellers in Russia for giving better experience for their customers, which are using also like Microsoft Dynamics and other tools.
Thank you.
Thank you. Aurel?
Yeah, thanks. My question would be around the sales process. You mentioned that you work with banks, so I guess you target large enterprises. And could you just walk us through really quick, like how long it takes and how this sales cycle looks like?
Yeah, great question. When we just started here, our sales cycle was about 6 or 8 months even. Yeah, because we target like big enterprises. But during the last year, we were able to like shorten it to 2 or 3 months. We made it like possible because we made a bunch of pilots inside big corporations, and we got some good numbers and good like success metrics, and we don't need to like to make new pilot projects. So yeah, that's it. And also, like we have very clear value propositions for like all stakeholders inside those corporations, and they like buy the need of our solution very quickly. But still, yeah, we have some time to get all the procurement procedures, to like to finalize documentation and all like this. So yeah, right now our sales cycle is about like 2 to 3 months.
Thank you. And Jared, your question is next.
If I've understood the technology correctly, you're tracking the user behavior in the back, similar to like task mining companies, right? So I was wondering if your solution is actually GDPR compliant.
Yeah, great question. Yeah. Right now, we're not tracking like all the user journey inside systems, but it's our next step. Yeah, we've now started developing this platform. And the second part of your question, yes, we're GDPR compliant. We've just finished all the procedures. We have a bunch of documents for GDPR compliance. Yeah, and we're constantly updating it.
Thank you. And as the suggestion for next steps, Stanislav, can I ask you to share your feedback or advice for Hinted?
Yeah, sure. I actually wanted to ask a question. In competitive processes, sales processes, what aspect of your solution actually mattered the most? Why they chose you in the competitive process?
Yeah, very good question. Right now, the biggest advantage is that we're more fast and more simple to integrate to the underlying platforms, because like our big competitors, to start using them, you need to make some changes in the code of underlying systems, and you need some tech work to make it work actually. And Hinted allows to do this more fast and more like simple. As I already said, we can even work without integration. That's the first point. And the second one is that we allow the full on-premises installation, and that's super important for banks and big corporations. And we are like the only company on the market with this like full on-premises option. And the third one is that we support creating those on-screen guides for Windows applications. That's it.
Okay, and it's a wrap for you guys to be on the stage. Thank you very much for a great presentation. Good luck. And I'm happy to invite our next startup, VOCHI, the application for creative video editing. And I'm delighted to introduce this startup, as VOCHI is actual Belarusian name, and we share the same roots. So happy to have you here, guys. Welcome.
Hey guys, nice to meet you. My name is Ilya. I am CEO and founder of VOCHI, and we develop app for creative video editing. And first of all, let's talk about problem. And we talk about creators problem. First of all, trend watching is exhausting, and you must stay in touch is a full-time job. You spend a lot of time searching for new videos, for ideas, for creative content and other stuff. We decided to provide VOCHI as a solution, and we are always on the hunt of rising trend with our effects and filters. The another point, there is no tutorials for unique edits. You search on Instagram, on TikTok, on Snapchat, on YouTube, but it's not, you don't have any tutorials, any editing content in another social networks. That's why we decided to provide new effects, which launched alongside tutorials and ideas by pro creators all over the world, by more than 100 creators, which works with us and provide content to another users. And the third point, that making an outstanding video without any special editing tools is impossible. And we decided to provide AI neural networks to empower any user's skills with professional editing skills. And first of all, VOCHI combines trends and tools. And our market is so huge, but the main point of this statement, that 54% of US Gen Zers would like to become an influencer and influence on their subscribers by video content. And how it works now, we had launched on 2019 at the end of November. We have iOS and Android application. And first of all, we concentrate on AI video editing with effects and filters, which doesn't exist on any other applications. And we provided 4K video editing with effects, which can create any motion designer in Adobe After Effects and spend about several hours, but we provided from the box by 3 taps on your mobile phone. From another point, we provide inspiration and educational content, how to create content, how to inspire your subscribers, and how to be the best on your social networks and get social adoption. And our traction, as I mentioned, we started our journey at the end of November 2019. Company was founded in Belarus on April 2019, and we passed more than 2,700,000 downloads on iOS and Android both. Also, we started our monetization strategy at the end of January this year and passed 260,000 monthly recurrent revenue and growth per 10 times from January till April in revenue. Also, we have mostly US-based users, and we grow on US market. And nowadays, we have 300,000 monthly active users. And our monthly recurrent revenue looks like this. And we are only on the first steps on our monetization, and we want to scale a lot. And as I mentioned, we want to be an app which combines trends and tools. That's why we manage our competitor site from 3 main points. Editing stuff, there are a lot of apps on App Store and Play Market. They provide a lot of basic video editing, a lot of filters, effects, and something like that, but they can't work with your creativity at all, and they all provide basic editing. We want to provide editing with AI features, which will take you several seconds to create content. Also, we build safe creative community. Nowadays, we build by Instagram and with our users, but in the future, we want to integrate all users to our platform and provide for them communication between each other. And from the core point effects, we provide unique effects. And from first steps, we try to build something brand new. And nowadays, a lot of competitors try to repeat our effects, and their effects look not so good. And we are on the rising on the trends, and we are trend watchers and trendsetters nowadays. And our global vision that in VOCHI, creators are born. And as a company nowadays, we are provide Trends Factory, and we are nowadays Snapchat partner. We constantly have great R&D of trends and effects. We research a lot of trends, tested on creative ads. Then we decided to launch this effect on app or not. If we see that CTR is looks so great, we launch this effect. Also, we worked with creators all over the world with 50,000 subscribers on their social networks and more, and create with them content to our app. And also, as I mentioned, we have a lot of curious computer vision technologies on our platform. And what's next? At the end of this year, we will launch UGC content in our app. Also, we will provide all basic video editing and features by computer vision, which will help you create videos in 2 tabs, and also pass several metrics such as monthly active users by 3 million, and also have revenue more than $4 million till the end of this year. And started to looking for Series A round. It can be from $5 million. And as the next year, we want to build safe creativity community space and also provide marketplace with content, and all creators all over the world can create effects, filters, music, sounds, texts, and something like that, publish to our platform and sell to our users their content. It's something like which provided by Facebook from Spark AR, also like Snapchat from Lens Studio, but we want to help artists to monetize their art. And also at 2023, we want to build the whole place where creators are born, not only video, it's about photos, it's about music and another stuff. And our core team consists of 39 guys nowadays, and I am young Gen Z. I'm starting my software classes when I was 16, and I was the founder of startup which had won the first Emerge on Data and AI track, but we failed up our product, and I started from software development, then switched to product management. Also, I have co-founder Anna. She is one of the toppest brand manager in CIS region, and she worked as CPO and CMO on both sides. And also we have guys from Viber, EPAM, Cines, Flow Health, ex-guys from these companies. And we had received on last seed investment
Ilya,
round.
I'm so sorry. We are so like late for the timing. And I'm just, yeah, if you can wrap it up in like 15 seconds, just not to interrupt you totally.
Okay. We had received last year seed investment from Genesis Investment. It was $1.5 million, and nowadays we are close to be cash profit company. And at the end of the year, we wanted to raise Series A round and acquire new team members and scale a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry for jumping in between, because like personally, I was surprised if you are hiring those folks who can watch all the video streams looking for trends and actually get paid for that. Because if I like look at my screen time and there is like all the TikTok and all this stuff, wasting, but that's the pure way that you can monetize your spare time activities. Thanks for the great presentations, and it's a call for our investors to share their feedback and ask questions. Anthony, would you like to be first?
So yes, thank you. I think one of the interesting things for me is I never just believe what's in a pitch deck. I always like to do my own research. I use SimilarWeb to look at web traffic. I look at App.AI, and of course the easy one is just look on the App Store. So I can see in Google Play you've got more than 500,000 downloads, which is great. You've got the vast majority of people loving it, and a few people having some issues with subscription and so on. And actually that was when I was looking at the slide deck, I think you jumped just a bit too quickly over the revenue growth. And I think so the numbers on the one slide was saying a smaller number, but then the revenue numbers were going bigger, and there were quite a few different numbers. So, as an investor, you're looking for little data points that indicate this is the hotspot that I should drill on. And from that, it looks like there's great traction, there's great usage, but somehow on the numbers, given you skip the slide and some users are mentioning about the subscriptions, and you don't need to answer that now, but were I to be looking to invest, that would be the area I would be focusing on. And my suggestion is to just get the numbers in sync. And on the growth slide, just pause long enough that people can see and parse the numbers and ask questions on it. Obviously not here, but in general when you're presenting. But otherwise, very nice. Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony. It's a great advice. Yeah, I will prepare my presentation for future pitches.
Gerald, you're up next.
Thanks. So as you know, Ilya, as we know each other already for a long time, I've been using the product myself already for a year, I would say now. And one feature I keep struggling with is actually, you cannot apply two different effects on two people at the same time in a video, right? Which I would assume is due to like the layers that the neural network is detecting within like who is the front object, who is the back object. Do you have any timeline or any feasibility about actually making sure that you can have multiple people in a video to apply the effects on?
Yeah, Jared. Nice to meet you. We talked 1 year ago, I think, when we started only our journey. And yeah, we will provide this feature, I think, at the end of this summer, after stuff about basic video editing, because we understand if we talk about lawyers, we must provide all basic video editing stuff. That's why we decided to provide, first of all, basic video editing. Then we will provide several layers for effects. Our technology works with several layers. We haven't got any problems on it. We have a lot of A/B testings and experiments with user experience, and we want to test a lot and then only publish to our users globally.
Cool, looking forward to that.
Thank you, and I'm sorry, there is a lot of questions from investors panel, but we are running out of time for VOCHI. Thank you very much, guys. Keep it up. Good luck. And I'm happy to invite to the stage Atama.AI. It is a startup AI that generates trading algorithms for financial markets. So please welcome Atama.AI. You are, guys, next on the stage.
Yeah, hello. My name is Tim, and I'm co-founder of Atama.AI. So what we do, we have developed an AI that can generate trading algorithms for financial markets. So yeah, what exactly problem do we address? Like in any market, AI is emerging rapidly in financial trading markets. And also, algorithmic trading is a technology that is still emerging. With all the capital in the market, lots of firms are trading and trying to find the best ways to improve their turnover, their wealth, and trying to make as much money as possible. However, with most trading firms, they are not using AI yet, and most of them are not even using trading algorithms yet. So what we do, we have created a tool to make this easier. Why are they not using AI yet? That's because data scientists, AI scientists are very scarce, and trading is getting the more and more difficult the more parties start using AI. So the later you enter the market, the more difficult it will get. So what we do is we try to close the gap between the top 5% firms in the trading world and the rest, because what we see, the really big firms, the big American hedge funds, they have own teams of data scientists who develop their own trading AI systems, and the rest is not yet, and there's a clear demand for that. And we provide a tool for the rest of the market to give this into their hands. So our tooling is it's in between algorithmic trading, technical analysis, and deep learning. And what it does is it generates millions of data points and then makes millions of different simulations using AI neural networks. And during the simulations, it tries to find profitable patterns in the data. Our platform allows you to get the prepared data, configure experiments, then run the simulations, and also in the end trade on live markets using these algorithms. And you see the arrows back because we also take back a feedback loop from the market. So if you're making money, the system will learn from it and it will get only better over time. So we have done some backtest experiments, and as you can see, our AI can run easily above markets in different stocks and also in crypto. So crypto actually it performs best because of the volatility, and we see the more volatile the market, the better AI will perform. We have been trading ourselves with our own algorithms as well, live on crypto. And on average, we do between 8 to 10% above market right now. This was, for example, last night when Elon Musk tweeted about Tesla abandoning Bitcoin. And as you can see, our algorithms, this is just one of the algorithms we generated, we're trading ourselves with currently. Predicted it pretty well and also bought at the bottom. So this algorithm actually did 4% over this time while the market did -15. This is an example of another algorithm. This one didn't buy at the bottom, but sold also exactly on the right time, just when Elon Musk tweeted. So our algorithms will get better and better over time, and they will also learn from this for next time in the future. So yeah, our business model is one, we use these pre-generated trading algorithms. We generate them ourselves using our own platform, and we use them ourselves, and also we make them available to parties on third-party platforms, and there people can subscribe to these algorithms and we share a subscription fee or share a commission fee over the trades, depending on the platform we share it on. And second is we give our tool in the hands of the smaller hedge funds, professional traders, asset management firms, and charge them a licensing fee and also a trading commission fee. The total addressable market of R&D in AI is 12 billion next year. And the total market in trade commissions and revenues is over 100 billion yearly. Traction. So yeah, we do have, next to the trading we are doing ourselves live, we are trading with some platforms like bots.io and a couple of close community partners who are trying out new bots we generate for them. And we have some deals with a few smaller hedge funds to create specific AI trading strategies, for example, for Forex or commodities. And there's one party we're actually creating a special strategy for hedging oil prices. And this we do together using our platform together with the customer. Total contract worth currently is 126K, total pipeline 1 million. And yeah, we started commercialization early this year, so not that long ago. Team, Maron Leskiv, he's based in Ukraine. He's the original founder. He couldn't be here today. He's ill. He's been doing 2 years of R&D, and he's a data scientist by trade. Myself, I have 10 years experience in the startup software sector, and our lead developer, Igor, is a Y Combinator alumnus, and he basically created most of the trading software we currently have by himself. So yeah, in short, we are based both in the Netherlands, I didn't tell you yet, and in Lviv, Ukraine. working remotely from both locations. 100K invested through a Rockstart Accelerator, 200K by founders, and we're currently raising 750K in convertible notes. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Thanks for the presentation, and we're ready to start with questions and feedback. Olga?
Hi, thanks a lot for the presentation. The main question which comes to mind, who's your target customer group in that sense? Because I mean, if I just kind of look at the market, the biggest traders out there have it in-house, right? And the smallest ones, there are kind of the entry point, and the need is kind of, we can ask questions about it, but anyways, who's your ultimate target group? Who's bringing money as a revenue for you today? And kind of how do you consider it evolving tomorrow?
Well, ultimately, we're a bit opportunity driven here. So there are many big family funds, wealth management offices who we've spoken to are all interested in. But yeah, what you say, it's not really the case. So of most parties we speak to, only maybe the top 5% of the market is using AI, and the rest indicates that either they want it or they're starting to initiate it. And yeah, and there is no real platform yet out of the box to start using it. Everybody has to start it from scratch. So that's the gap we fill in. And for example, we have spoken to wealth management fund over a couple of billion in under management, also not using AI yet. So yeah, the assumption that they are working on it is I don't think it's correct. Yeah, they want it, but they also have invested a lot in previous technologies as well. They have existing trading algorithms and strategies. So yeah, that's still emerging.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Thanks. And in that terms, kind of, you say that kind of 2 billion asset manager still needs it, but kind of if we still, let's say, define the range in terms of kind of your sales strategy, what would be the range? An example, like, I don't know, if it's 500K, if it's interesting for you or not.
No, it's not, because we're charging 10K per month for the users of our platform. So there will have to be larger asset managers.
Clear. Thanks.
Thank you, team. And unfortunately, again, time flies so fast, and we are really strict on schedule. We have 2 more startups that we would like to bring on the stage. So in this case, Atama, thanks for your presentation. Sorry, unfortunately, we just don't have time for more feedback. And I'm happy to invite on the stage our next startup, Via.Delivery. The company, the main reason, so good. Like you can make an introduction and get ready for to be the next one. So.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm Mitchell Nikitin, CEO and founder of Via.Delivery from not a sunny California today. And we do buy online, pick up in store for D2C brands who otherwise don't have their own brick and mortar locations. And like simply saying, we actually powering these guys to cut shipping costs up to 80%. 11 months from launch, we are in 1.3 million ARR, 3 million gross merchandise value, and growing at a pace of about 30% month to month. The problem we are solving is pretty simple, right? You probably seen that a lot of times in non-Amazon online stores. You try to buy something for $3.99 and then you get to pay $6 or $9 for shipping, which just doesn't make any sense, right? Now, that problem is not a small one. In fact, more than half of the United States e-commerce market is non-Amazon. And as the main reason for those guys to lose sale is a high shipping cost, that leads to, well, 160 billion of losses for the industry in the United States alone. And in Europe, you know the kind of solution for that, right? That's called alternative delivery locations, when you can pick up from lockers, from local grocery, convenience, whatever. In the United States, being a D2C brand trying to get alternative delivery location, you will find yourself being among one of these guys. Yeah, and the reason for that is, like, for a long time, United States was considered to be like the purely residential shipping market. In fact, it changes a lot these days. Just check this out. This is like a growth of buy online, pick up in store in the United States in 2020, and it's 5 times the growth of e-commerce. We have the internal data from one of the major retailers who have both brick and mortar locations and online sales. So for them, in 2020, the growth of buy online, pick up in store was 500%. And it's already up to 45% of their entire sales. They start going to buy online, pick up in store. And when they started to ask their clients, hey guys, why are you risking your health driving to our stores in the pandemic times? The reason was as simple as that. We don't want to pay for shipping. We want to save on shipping. And these guys, they kind of help us a lot as well by stealing on approximately 10 billion every single year, like those online parcels from the doorstep. So that's a huge problem these days. And we are solving it by allowing this local pickup on the registers in the local convenience store, gas station, pharmacies, etc., all over the country. But the way we innovate is actually very kind of tricky. If you ever thought about the fact why like shipping of some item from online store could cost you like $6, while the matching size and weight item in local groceries only cost like $3 by itself? Well, it definitely didn't cost like $6 to ship it there. In fact, it was only 11 cents. And those 11 cents include distribution centers, line hauls, etc. So the innovation of Via.Delivery is the way we are piggybacking off of the existing brick and mortar retailers' distribution networks and warehouses to ship those e-commerce items, having the cost of shipping as low as 11 cents as well, and avoiding UPS, USPS, and FedEx along this process. The sweet thing is that we also know that about 62% of those who come for a pickup to local brick and mortar stores actually convert to extra sales for our partners, generating the extra revenue. On a very high level, we simply enabled in this buy online, pick up in store option to all those like D2C brands, Mamas and Papas online stores. So now they can like few clicks switch on their nationwide buy online, pick up in store and increase their sales. And to do that, that's like Via.Delivery. And wait, I have one more slide for that. Yeah, and it's actually like as complicated as it looks. So we are basically connecting the dots with our software all over like entire sales and supply chain process. In order to achieve the ambitious goal to create the most cost-effective shipping option for global e-commerce, we have a great team. Actually, like 1 year ago, it was only 2 of us. Last January, 2 founders and 1 idea out there. And now it's over 30 people with experience in e-commerce, logistics, IT, backed by customer advisory board with executives from Target, CVS, Bed Bath & Beyond, Vivino, and we even have a guy who was a head of product delivery in Amazon in the United States. So 11 months from launch, we are in 22,000 locations, 5 countries, about 12 time zones. And the reason we are growing that fast is actually very simple. For last decade, e-commerce was growing, and at the same time, brick and mortar retailers, they were losing their sales. So now they desperately need a way to get them back. And with our value proposition, hey guys, you can now start utilizing your existing assets, your distribution networks, your locations, and finally benefit from e-commerce boom. That actually resonates a lot, as well as for e-commerce that resonates a lot to get the most cost-effective shipping option on the market. So generally, by bridging this gap between pure play commerce and brick and mortar retail, we help our partners to lead this major shift that is happening in shoppers' behaviors this day on $5 trillion United States retail industry. So that's pretty much about us. I'm looking forward to your questions.
Thank you. And yep, we're ready for feedback from the investors panel. Gerald?
Thank you. So one part I didn't quite get is, are you also providing the fulfillment for your customers, or only the tech layer basically for then handling all the brick and mortar? And second of all, how much is at the end of the day for the end customer the price difference between the logistics to their doorstep versus the logistics to the brick and mortar store, which I guess has to be within a range of like a mile or something like that, because they don't want to go too far probably to pick it up?
Yeah, so answering your first question, we don't do fulfillment ourselves. So we are everything like after the fulfillment center or the warehouse of the pure play, like e-commerce or D2C brands, if you will. And then it's our job to make it shipped and picked up in a local convenience. But for those guys, we also provide always like models for the website where they're able to show this map of locations around, etc. As for like the distance, we found ourselves being in optimal distance of having like 10 minutes drive or 5 minutes walking distance if we are talking about like the urban areas. That's our sweet spot, and that's what we are like hoping to get.
Cool, thanks. And how much is the saving for the end consumer at the end of the day?
Well, our average shipping is like $2.3 per shipping. That's what it costs. And it's usually like up to 40% less expensive than other alternative delivery location shipping, and up to like 60% cheaper than, and sometimes 80% comparing to residential shipping. And like the overall goal is to drop shipping costs down to zero, actually. That's our long-term vision.
Yeah, because you said they don't want to pay for logistics, right?
Exactly, and we drive this extra revenue for those who come for a pickup. So that's our sweet spot. We want those people who come for a pickup to buy more and more. And at the end of the day, we want our share of that extra sales.
Thank you. George? Yep, go ahead.
Hey, thank you for that. Incredibly clear. I guess my main question is, from a cost perspective, it makes sense. If you can get the density of different places to drop off items, then it will be convenient. Similar services to this have existed before as a middle layer, right? That I've been using a couple in London for the last couple of years. I guess I'm curious about the kind of unique insight that you have into how to attack this differently, whether it's on go-to-market, operations, or otherwise.
Yeah, the way we do it, we try to onboard from the very beginning, like the major players in the retail space, like CVS as a good example in the United States. And you are totally right. In London, that's like very spread. And it's just a matter of time when it's going to be like very well spread in the United States. So our, like the idea of our growth, we go to the biggest guys and we integrate not one by one, but the entire chain, which is like, for the CVS case, it's like 6,500 locations nationwide, right? And yeah, that's the way we grow it.
Thank you very much. And we have to head to our last startup because time flies and we still have one in the pipeline. So Via.Delivery, thank you very much. Good luck. And in Spectre Cloud, AI software as a service for retail analytics, please get up on the stage. We're happy to have you with us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alex. I'm a CEO and co-founder of Inspector Cloud. Our solution is a SaaS for retail audits used by FMCG brands. The problem that we are helping our customers to solve is the lack of the data, what's going on the shelf, how to win the shelf competition, how to excel the people's management for of the people who are working in the fields, the sales reps, the merchandisers, and how to grow the efficiency. Solution itself is pretty easy. So it's a mobile application connected with our backend, with the neural networks that can capture the SKU facing standing on the shelf and generate actionable reports on what is missing on the shelf and how to fix it. It all works real time. Now it is working even faster with on-device recognition that we are now rolling out. In terms of the competition, so we are targeting the market niche where Nielsen is pretty active. Yeah, with a different kind of approach. We are solving, to some extent, similar problems with the less time, yeah, with the less money, and on a larger scale if we take amount of the data that we are processing in each of the projects that we have. The market is quite big. So in the US alone, there are 1.5 million of the sales reps and the merchandisers that are generating reports doing the retail audits and spending a lot of time for nothing, basically, because they do all the manual calculations in their head instead of doing it automatically with image recognition solutions. The plan is actually to raise from 1 to 2 million USD at 9 million per month valuation for the expansion into the European market. So we have a pipeline of 1 million in the pre-sales now, yeah. And we are operating in Malaysia, Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan. We have a project going out in Poland. And we're now incorporating inside the Baltics region for a next round. The reason why it is pretty much up to date, the first company this market tracks retail is preparing for IPO. It definitely means that the market is pretty huge. And at the moment, I guess we're the second largest company in this field, generating 15 million images per month and connecting 33,000 of end users across our 2 applications. The biggest customers that we are working now is PepsiCo, along with the Mars Pet Care, Henkel, Schwarzkopf, and many others, actually. So we have up to 20 of different brands in our portfolio. So current MRR is 160,000 USD per month, yeah, and it is growing. Yeah, it is growing, I guess, with a 5-10% per month, adding new projects, sales rep, the merchandisers, and I guess we'll have another 2-3x in terms of the MRR this year as we did last year. The differentiation is pretty easy. So we're purely SaaS and AI company, so we don't have any people in the loop who do the processing, and that makes our value proposition for the customers pretty strong. So all reports arrive in real time, and we are not charging for anything else rather than the SaaS. Yeah, so it's pretty easy to use, and it's providing the value for the sales reps while they're still in the store, unlike other vendors. So that's the biggest value that we are now getting. So the team is actually represented by me. I'm a co-founder and a CEO. My co-founder and the CTO is Pavel Boyko. And we're also pretty strong the main qualification from our partners and mentors in this field. That's pretty it. So I'm pretty open for the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. Okay, and we're going to the panel. And is there any questions or feedback? Would like to step in? Stanislav, maybe you'd like to share your thoughts. You're on mute. We cannot hear you. Sorry.
Yeah. So sure. So you are taking on Nielsen. basically, which usually in cases with real large retailers, they offer much more than just one service. And so the service you're offering, will it be kind of compelling enough for the retailer to kind of replace some part of the whole Nielsen offering with you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the projects that we now have are mostly with the FMCG brands. And as far as I understand, the most of the revenue of the Nielsen is also going through the FMCG brands rather than the retailers itself. However, it's a good question. Yes, so we don't have any yet solution for the retail chains specifically.
Thank you. And Philip, with your raised hand.
Thank you, Alexander, for a nice presentation. I'm wondering what let's say, how much time does it take when you have a customer and you need to train products you want to recognize? So how much does it take from the time perspective?
Usually it takes from 2 to 4 weeks to set up the neural network specific for a customer.
Okay, thank you.
Olga?
Yeah, thanks a lot for the presentation. My question is more about kind of business model and monetization. So basically, how do you price it? Is it kind of, so to say, implementation fee plus something recurring, or how does it work? Like 160K revenue and 11 customers. So that's kind of.
So it's a SaaS model dependent on the number of the audits our customer is doing using our solution. So we have a pay-as-you-grow model. Yes, the more orders they're taking, the less they're paying per specific unit. Yeah, and we also have a fixed projects where the amount of the visit is too small, and it's a minimum order quantity that we are charging per project per month. Yeah, that's how it works. Plus additional services that all of our customers buy on a scale. Yeah, and most of the customers are pretty big, and so some of the customers are generating more than 20,000 USD per account. That's the way we have the revenue like that.
Clear, and it's all recurring.
Yeah, so it's a recurring. So that's the way.
Okay. Thank you very much, Alexander. Thanks.
Thank you.
And I have to call it a day. So thank you very much for our startups. And I ask all our investors to stay for just a couple of more minutes after we finish to have a discussion and share feedback between us. And I ask all startups to take some time and refresh your mind after the very hot session. So we wish you good luck. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we're going to have one more day for Venture Lunch. But today it's a wrap. And thank you very much for being with us.